As Canelo Alvarez gears up to face rising star Edgar Berlanga, the boxing world is buzzing with predictions from top pros. Will the Mexican legend's experience be too much? Or will Berlanga's knockout power surprise everyone? Let's find out who the pros believe will come out on top. Rolly Romero shared an interesting take on Berlanga's strategy going into the Canelo fight, suggesting there's more than meets the eye. Here's what he had to say.
I mean, Berlanga said he has a higher ring IQ than Canelo, so we're going to see some things we never seen.
Yeah, like, well, how does that look?
Well, that's what he said, so I don't know. I don't know. See, you know what the most powerful information in the world is?
What's it?
Information that I know that you don't know. So information that he knows about Canelo that Canelo don't know, then we don't know. He has a game plan. He says he has a game plan. We don't know what it is. And it's probably better to not to know what it is. Because, it's just going to destroy from the masterpiece that's going to be on September 14th.
Oscar De La Hoya expressed his strong opinions about Canelo Alvarez's recent behavior, specifically regarding negotiations and avoiding certain opponents. He shared his thoughts, saying, "So it turns out I'm not the only one who thinks Canelo is an arrogant piece of sh." Turki Al-Sheikh recently revealed that Canelo refused to meet with him in person and isn't entertaining any deals to be done with him. Why? Because he's outpriced himself so much that the Saudis don't even want to deal with him. De La Hoya continued to criticize Canelo, accusing him of avoiding tougher competition like David Benavidez. It's all because he will do anything not to fight David Benavidez. Look, Turkey is trying to make the best fights that everybody wants to see, and Canelo continues to take the fights that nobody wants to see. De La Hoya also took a jab at Berlanga, questioning his Puerto Rican identity ahead of the Canelo fight. That takes me to Edgar Berlanga, who is fighting Canelo on September 14th. Now he claims he has a whole country behind him. Edgar, bro, you're from Brooklyn. I think I'm more Puerto Rican than you are, and I only lived there for 6 years. Puerto Rico doesn't claim you, bro. De La Hoya didn't shy away from predicting the outcome of Canelo's upcoming fight with Berlanga, drawing comparisons to a much larger event.
And as I said weeks ago, this fight will not do well on September 14. Not only because the matchup is okay, but because they're going up against the UFC's debut at the Sphere in Las Vegas. Now that's a spectacle that everyone and their mother has been waiting to see since it opened up about a year ago. And who is funding it and making it all happen? Turki Al-Sheikh. Canelo, you're really making the wrong enemies. But you know what?
Caleb Plant shared his thoughts on Edgar Berlanga's comments about him and raised concerns about Berlanga's lack of preparation and experience. He pointed out that Berlanga might not fully grasp the challenge ahead.
Have boxing skills that he doesn't have, a chin that he doesn't have, and experience that he doesn't have. So it's either going to be a long night or more likely a real short night.
When asked about Berlanga's dismissive remarks, Plant emphasized Berlanga's lack of awareness regarding the levels he's about to face. Celeb also added, "He seems unaware of the levels he's getting ready to step up to. He's focused on me, but he needs to focus on what's in front of him because he's got a full plate. He seems distracted, and that shows he hasn't been to this level before." Plant also reflected on his own experience, contrasting it with Berlanga's mindset, saying, "Even when Canelo and I had our press conference, things got chippy, but I wasn't focused on other fighters. You've got to focus on what's in front of you, or you'll look up and there'll be nothing in front of you." It speaks to his experience level. Caleb Plant didn't hold back when downplaying Edgar Berlanga's knockout power, making it clear that heavy hands alone won't be enough at the elite level. He fired back with,
Yeah, he carries a big punch, but most everybody at 168 carries a big punch. There was a fighter once upon a time who said that I couldn't punch, and that, what are you going to do, run me around the ring till I get tired? And, he wound up getting his grave dug, and I want to get knockout of the year. So everybody at 168 hits hard. So, I hit hard. Okay, well, we all hit hard. Okay, I got courage. Okay, we all got courage. We're fighters. So you got to bring something else to the table. And Berlanga spoke to that, saying it takes IQ, but it's just unfortunate for him because he don't really have much of that.
Caleb Plant responded to Edgar Berlanga's claims about his own abilities and level of intelligence in the ring, noting the skepticism it generated.
He talked about IQ, he's talked about chin.
Yeah, and everyone started rolling their eyes.
Caleb Plant expressed doubt about Edgar Berlanga's readiness for top-level competition, emphasizing that Berlanga falls short of the necessary standards.
How far behind, proverbially, do you really think that Berlanga is?
I mean, I couldn't put a number on it, but I don't think he's up to par.
Jose Benavidez acknowledged the controversy and speculation surrounding his support for Edgar Berlanga, revealing a more supportive stance than many might expect.
Even though Berlanga says that I hate him and I talk a lot of But I'm cheering for him. I think I wish him the best. I think he's a young fighter, very talented. I think if he trains, it looks like he's training hard. He's super disciplined. We could have a big upset, and I would love for him to beat Canelo so he can take all those belts away, and then all these other fighters have a better opportunity. With Canelo, you never know what's happening. He doesn't have, Berlanga doesn't have that power, to choose and do whatever he wants at this point. So I think that will give more opportunity to all the 168s. But at the end of the day, Canelo's a great fighter, pound for pound the best, and I think he can adjust, and I think this style is going to fit for him, to beat Berlanga. But I'm cheering for Berlanga.
Jose Benavidez stirred the pot by revealing his unexpected support for Edgar Berlanga, expressing his hope that Berlanga's victory over Canelo Alvarez could open doors for other fighters.
Why are you cheering for Berlanga?
I like him. Like I said, I like him. And like I said, the only other reason that I want him to beat Canelo, so all these other fighters can have opportunities to fight for those belts. I feel that Canelo's been has these belts hostage for a long time. They already took one away, but he still has 3 of them. So, who's gonna he fight next after Berlanga? So I'll be happy if Berlanga can beat him. Maybe we can fight Berlanga.
Ryan Garcia weighed in on Canelo Alvarez's upcoming fight, expressing his confidence in Canelo's victory.
I know Canelo's gonna win, so shout out Canelo.
So you don't even need to go to the Canelo fight because you know he's going to win?
Yes.
It's
no disrespect to boxing or Canelo,
right?
But we know Canelo's gonna win by knockout. Let me see, 6.
Danny Garcia discussed the significance of the Canelo versus Berlanga fight, highlighting the appeal and stakes involved. Honestly, this is a great fight. Canelo is a legend taking on a young, hungry fighter. Berlanga may not be Benavidez, but he's a threat. He's young, strong, bigger, and has everything to gain. Canelo has everything to lose. It's a Puerto Rico versus Mexico rivalry, making it a highly marketable fight. Boxing is about what can sell, and both Puerto Ricans and Mexicans love boxing. It's about creating an event. Garcia's analysis underscores the blend of competitive dynamics and cultural elements that make the fight compelling, emphasizing its broader appeal and significance.
If I had a bet, I got to bet against the odds. I got to bet Berlanga. That's the only way you're going to win money, And, Berlanga's my guy. We have fun together. Outside, we be outside together, what I'm saying? So it's like, I consider him a real friend. He's been in my house. We've been on yachts together, having fun. So that's my bro up there. I'm proud of him.
You think he can knock him out? You think he can knock Canelo out?
He has the power to. He's got to go now. Boxing's all right here. Boxing's all right here. If you believe you can do it, you can really do it. Because Canelo has been beat. He's not unbeatable. You can beat him. You got to believe, but. It's a mountain to climb because it is Canelo.
Never been knocked out.
Canelo's a dog. That's one thing I can say. Canelo's a dog.
Danny Garcia expressed his support for Edgar Berlanga, emphasizing the excitement and significance of the fight against Canelo Alvarez. He noted that Berlanga's youth and hunger make him a formidable challenger. Juan Manuel Marquez weighed in on the Canelo versus Berlanga matchup, pointing out the disparity in experience and skill levels. He said, "The level of opponents is different. Canelo has experience, but Berlanga doesn't. I think the pressure is on Berlanga, and he needs to fight with other great fighters. I believe Canelo will knock out Berlanga." Jim Lampley assessed the current state of the Canelo versus Berlanga fight, comparing it to Berlanga's earlier performances. He remarked, "If Berlanga were fighting the same way he did during his long knockout streak a year and a half or 2 years ago, it would look a little better. However, since then, Berlanga has shown some technical flaws in his game. Technical holes are not a good way to beat Canelo Alvarez, who is a brilliant technician." In a bold and controversial prediction, Jim Lampley declared that Canelo Alvarez is poised to easily undress Edgar Berlanga.
Opponent, do you feel it's a good fight, that it's going to end up being a good fight?
No. I think Canelo's going to undress Berlanga. I expect Canelo to technically undress him and make a strong statement that he's still Canelo Alvarez.
Teddy Atlas offered his insight on Edgar Berlanga's upcoming fight, emphasizing the contrast between Berlanga's potential and his current level of experience. He's a young, talented fighter, but he's an inexperienced fighter at this level. Atlas's comment highlights the challenge Berlanga faces against a seasoned opponent like Canelo Alvarez, stressing that while Berlanga has talent, he lacks the high-level experience needed to compete effectively. Leonard Ellerby addressed Edgar Berlanga's challenge against Canelo Alvarez, recognizing the difficulty of the matchup and the unique qualities Berlanga brings to the fight.
That's a tough out for anyone in this sport. Berlanga, we know he's just going to come. He's going to come, he's going to try, but the Canelo has just too much experience. Too much experience. He's seen every style there is in the sport. So there's nothing that Berlanga is going to attempt to try to do that he hadn't seen before, and he'll be able to counter that. But it'll be a fun fight. It'll be a very entertaining fight.
Why do you feel that it'll be a fun fight as opposed to like a one-sided Canelo fight?
No, it's definitely going to be entertaining. Definitely, because Berlanga ain't no chump. He ain't no chump, and he's going to bring it. He's going to come. He wants to represent his entire culture, and the fans that will be in attendance, and the fans will be watching all around the world. He's going to want to put on a great performance. He knows the Canelo's at the top of the division, and this is for all the marbles. And he's going to want to come and put on a great performance.
Leonard Ellerby provided further insight into the Canelo versus Berlanga fight, acknowledging the challenges Berlanga will face due to Canelo's extensive experience. Anything is possible once you step into the ring, but Canelo, with his experience, everything at the top level, will pose significant problems. Canelo has seen every style and will know what Berlanga is trying to do while he's attempting it. He'll be able to counter that. I fully expect it to be a highly entertaining fight that will likely end between 6 and 8 rounds, with a body shot being the decisive factor. Ellerby's comments emphasize the depth of Canelo's experience and anticipate a dynamic, action-packed bout.
Definitely one of the top body punchers in the entire sport. And that's something he does really, really, really well. He knows how to place those shots. And because a lot of these fighters are kind of, like Floyd used to say, ABC 1, 2, 3, basic. And he's able to counter all that. I can't say enough. He's seen every style that's out there.
Ellerby highlighted Canelo's comprehensive experience, stating that Canelo has seen every style, underscoring the veteran's ability to counter Berlanga's strategies effectively. Teofimo Lopez Sr. provided a straightforward prediction for the bout, reflecting on Berlanga's ability to handle Canelo's strengths.
Past 6 rounds, Berlanga is a good friend of mine. I love him, you know what I'm saying? But you got to say it like it is, you know what I'm saying? Canelo's in the pound-for-pound list for a reason. You know, Canelo got a chin. Canelo could pop, you know, and I don't see Berlanga, you know, he don't got that power to knock out Canelo, you know what I'm saying? So what I see in the fight, Canelo walking him down and ripping him apart by the 6th round.
Lopez Sr. expressed concerns about Berlanga's timing for this fight, acknowledging the mismatch in experience and readiness.
And I hope he doesn't get upset, man, but that's just boxing, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a trainer. I can't lie, you know what I'm saying? And I think he took this fight too early. I think that he's not ready for him right now. Canelo's like still in his prime, you know, 33 years young, you know, and I think Canelo still got a whole run to go with. And
finally, Lopez Sr. advised Berlanga on how to approach the fight from a broader perspective. This is a big money fight for Berlanga. Take the money, enjoy a vacation, and have a great time. I hope he doesn't get hurt, but this fight is a significant challenge for him. Teofimo Lopez Sr. shared his strong conviction about the fight's outcome, focusing on Canelo's power and the timing of the bout.
An uppercut. It's going to be that Mike Tyson, whoo, whoo, you know what I'm saying? And finishing probably with the right hand afterwards. It's definitely going to be a knockout. You know, we haven't seen a knockout from Canelo in a while, you know, and Canelo got to show that come that night, you know, and you know, I don't, you know, people just get into like in their skin, man, when people say the truth, you know what I'm saying? But I got nothing against Berlanga, bro, but I think that this fight is just too fast for him, you know what I'm saying? I think that he should have just waited a couple more years, you know. They ain't no stopping Canelo right now.
Diego Pacheco weighed in on the upcoming fight, highlighting the stark difference between the two fighters.
A chance, you know, especially if you're a hard puncher like he is, you know, you have a chance at landing a lucky shot, you know. But Canelo, I feel he's the king of the boxing world, you know. He's the face of boxing, you know, and he's earned it. You know, he's fought. No one has fought as many champions as him in boxing right now, and I think Canelo is just gonna play with Berlanga. You know, I feel like Berlanga isn't as good as they make him to be, but
But, you know, I mean, all the best to both of the guys, man. Let the best man win.
Teofimo Lopez shared his advice for Berlanga and his thoughts on the upcoming fight. He said, "Focus more than ever now. Your life doesn't change until after the fight. Right now, it's just about preparing. Don't let the cameras or distractions affect you. If you've dreamt about Canelo, make that dream a reality. Show the world why manifestation and hard work matter." Before the fight, Teofimo Lopez advised Berlanga to concentrate intensely on his preparation. He emphasized the importance of staying focused and not letting external distractions, including media attention, derail his training. Lopez encouraged Berlanga to turn his dreams of defeating Canelo into a reality, highlighting the significance of determination and hard work. He added, "As for the odds, I give Berlanga's youth some credit. I'd say 2-1 or 3-1 in his favor. But I expect Canelo to win by TKO or knockout. Fans should get ready for an explosive fight, and it will be a great night of boxing." Lopez also shared his perspective on the fight's odds, acknowledging Berlanga's youth but ultimately predicting a Canelo victory by TKO or knockout. He suggested that while Berlanga's youth might give him some advantage, Canelo's experience and skill are likely to prevail. Lopez assured fans that the fight would be thrilling and worth watching, underscoring his excitement for the event. Jaime Munguia shared his thoughts on the upcoming Canelo versus Berlanga fight. Canelo should win. Like I've said though, this is boxing, and a lot of things can happen, but I see Canelo as a favorite. Before the fight, Jaime Munguia expressed his belief that Canelo Alvarez is the clear favorite to win against Edgar Berlanga. Despite acknowledging the unpredictability of boxing, Munguia's confidence in Canelo's superiority and track record led him to predict a victory for the current champion. Before making his prediction, Munguia acknowledged that while Canelo Alvarez is the favorite, Edgar Berlanga possesses notable skills that could influence the fight. He stated, "Berlanga has a good jab and I've seen that he has good distance control. If he knows how to utilize these strengths, he could have a good advantage." Specifically, Munguia highlighted Berlanga's effective jab and distance management as potential assets that could give him an edge if used strategically. Jaime Munguia expressed his respect for Canelo Alvarez while urging for an exciting bout. Canelo is an intelligent fighter and a dangerous one at that. However, what I would ask is for him to give a great fight for all the people. Before this, Munguia acknowledged Canelo's skills and prowess in the ring. After his statement, he emphasized the importance of an engaging and entertaining fight for fans, showcasing the respect he has for Canelo's abilities while also hoping for a memorable event. Gabe Rosado provided insights into Edgar Berlanga's strategy against Canelo Alvarez. Edgar doesn't have anything that Canelo hasn't seen, you know what I'm saying. But what Edgar needs to do is I feel that he needs to probably take Canelo by surprise and apply pressure immediately, not try to warm up into the fight. Maybe get a good warm-up in that locker room. So once you're in that ring, you got a nice sweat going on, and you can just start right from the rip. Rosado emphasized that Berlanga's approach should be to start aggressively, rather than easing into the fight. He noted that Berlanga's best chance to make an impact would be to utilize his youthful energy and apply immediate pressure on Canelo. Gabe Rosado continues, "Because if he plays chess with Canelo, Canelo is just too experienced, too sharp for that, and then Canelo being an older fighter, even though he's still fresh, he's going to pace himself in the beginning where, I feel that he needs to use his youth and just apply pressure, But, if he goes in there, he tries to play chess with Canelo, it's going to be bad." After explaining the need for an aggressive start, Rosado warned that trying to outsmart Canelo could be detrimental. He suggested that Berlanga should leverage his youth and avoid engaging in a tactical battle with Canelo's seasoned skills. Before delving into Gabe Rosado's thoughts on Berlanga's strategy against Canelo Alvarez, he expressed doubts about the timing of the fight for Berlanga.
Well, I don't think it's that he's catching Canelo at the right time, because Canelo just dominated Munguia. And, Munguia, this is, is one of the top fighters in the division. So, I think what Berlanga has is he does have the punching power, and everybody has, anything's possible when you have power. So to be able to land that against Canelo, you have to be really crafty, but I feel like he has to just apply pressure. And that's his best bet, man, is really going in there with some effort and just take no for an answer. If he goes into, playing the boxing or whatever, Canelo's really good at cutting off the ring, and he's really good at attacking the body.
Rosado started by questioning whether Berlanga was facing Canelo at an opportune moment, noting Canelo's recent dominance over top fighters like Munguia. He acknowledged Berlanga's punching power, but stressed that success against Canelo would require more than just power, specifically, a strategic and aggressive approach.
I think Canelo's the more experienced puncher, you know what I'm saying? Because power is power, but, if we go on a gunfight You know what I'm saying? And I'm just shooting my bazooka, boom, boom, boom. And I mean, I might have, you know, the other guy might have the Uzi. He might have the AK. He might have the shot. He might finish you with the shotgun. Canelo knows how to switch up that speed, where Berlanga's just shooting that shotgun. And that takes experience to understand how to switch speeds, how to throw decoy shots.
As discussions about Edgar Berlanga's upcoming bout with Canelo Alvarez heat up, Gabe Rosado pointed out the significant differences in their experiences and past opponents. He emphasized that while Canelo's track record is well established, the fight will reveal much more about Berlanga's capabilities, especially given the disparity in their levels of competition.
We already know about Canelo, and we already know what Canelo brings to the table. But as far as Berlanga, the level of competition is way different than what Canelo has faced. Canelo has faced Hall of Fame fighters, champion after champion. This is Berlanga's first champion that he's ever fought.
With the highly anticipated fight between Edgar Berlanga and Canelo Alvarez on the horizon, Trevor McClane shared his take, casting doubt on Berlanga's chances despite his power.
Berlanga's got the power. I think Canelo's going to get to him, though. I think his defense is a little not there. But we're going to see him have a puncher's chance always. But, you know, Canelo got that granite chin, so it's going to be interesting. But I take Canelo by, like, mid-round stoppage, mid-round.
When asked about Canelo Alvarez's reported demand of $150 to $200 million to face Terence Crawford, Trevor McClane offered his perspective, recognizing Canelo's career accomplishments and defending his decision to seek a hefty payday. McClane highlighted the significance of Canelo's legacy and the level of competition he has faced throughout his career. Trevor stated, "You know, he did his fair share. He's fought everybody. I mean, you wanted him to fight Triple G. He fought Triple G 3 times. He's fought everybody, so he's in the position now to fight who he wants, and I don't really knock him for that. Try to get your bag, you know." After years of dominating the sport, McClane feels that Canelo has earned the right to dictate terms, especially when it comes to a super fight against Crawford, one that could go down in boxing history. Antonio Tarver, a former world champion and respected boxing analyst, weighed in on the highly anticipated fight between Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga. While acknowledging Berlanga's ability to promote the fight and possibly sway some opinions, Tarver remained firm in his belief that the experience and skills of Canelo would be too much for Berlanga to handle. He stated, "Oh man, I can't go against Canelo on that fight. I know Berlanga is going to promote this fight, you know. He might convince a lot of people, but from what I've seen on tape, that's all I can go by." Tarver continued to emphasize that Canelo's proven track record and resilience in the ring give him a clear edge. He added a key condition under which things could change, but ultimately felt that the outcome was unlikely to shift. He said, "Unless Canelo slows down tremendously before the fight, I don't see how Berlanga can win it. I don't see him taking those shots." With years of experience watching and analyzing fighters, Tarver's prediction is grounded in his belief that Canelo's power and durability will be the decisive factors in the fight. Antonio Tarver, while expressing his strong belief in Canelo Alvarez's chances, left room for the unpredictability of boxing. He acknowledged that, despite his analysis, anything can happen when two fighters step into the ring. Tarver's perspective on Edgar Berlanga's potential performance added a layer of respect for the young contender, though he remained doubtful of an upset.
Now, if he can do that, maybe he can last. I don't know. But what Berlanga gonna shoot at Canelo, that's really gonna unnerve him. I don't see it, bro. I don't see it. But, you know, I've been wrong before, and I hope Berlanga put on the best show he could. I hope he performed at his best, but I just don't think it'll be enough to dethrone Canelo.
Tarver's words reflect the fine line between acknowledging Berlanga's efforts and recognizing the monumental challenge that defeating a pound-for-pound great like Canelo would pose. While supportive of Berlanga's determination, Tarver maintained that Canelo's dominance is likely to remain intact. Jose Benavidez Sr., the father and trainer of David Benavidez, weighed in on Canelo Alvarez's decision to fight Edgar Berlanga. Benavidez expressed a bit of frustration, implying that Canelo is picking opponents he believes will make him look good, rather than facing the toughest possible challenges. Despite his reservations, Benavidez also acknowledged the unpredictable nature of boxing, where anything can happen once the fighters step into the ring.
I guess Berlanga has done more than David, you know, in order for him to pick him. But I think just Canelo right now, he's just trying to get the fighters that he thinks that he's going to look good against. I mean, no disrespect to Berlanga, anything can happen. He might pull up a big upset, but you know, on his progress and fights, we've been seeing that he hasn't been developing that experience, you know, like Munguia. So Canelo sees that, so he thinks that that's an easy win for him. But anything can happen, you know. I'm happy, and I congratulate Berlanga for that fight. And everybody has a chance when they go up in the ring. But in my opinion, I think that Canelo team think that they can look good and maybe even stop him.
Benavidez's reaction highlights the tension between fighters vying for Canelo's attention and the politics behind big fights. While he respects Berlanga for landing the fight, he clearly believes Canelo is strategically choosing an opponent he feels confident about beating. Gabe Rosado, a seasoned veteran in the boxing world, shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight between Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga. Rosado, known for his straightforward analysis, highlighted the significant experience gap between Berlanga and Canelo. He emphasized that if Berlanga wants to have a shot at victory, he needs to approach the fight with an aggressive strategy and take advantage of his physical attributes. According to Rosado, Berlanga can't afford to give Canelo too much space and must constantly apply pressure from the start. Rosado stated, Berlanga doesn't have the experience that Canelo has, so I think it's where he has to bring it to Canelo and pressure him, use his size, try to smother Canelo. Rosado explained that to succeed, Berlanga must come into the fight in the best shape of his life. There's no room for exhaustion, as his only chance is to remain aggressive throughout the fight and not allow Canelo to dictate the pace. He also added, you've got to have the tank. You cannot get tired. You've got to be aggressive and stay on Canelo. Rosado further predicted that Berlanga's best shot is to surprise Canelo by fighting differently than expected. Rather than fighting defensively or on the back foot, Rosado suggested that Berlanga should confront Canelo head-on, smothering him and catching him off guard.
You catch Canelo off guard where you're expecting the kid to maybe to fight off the back foot, but surprisingly, he's just right there. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think Canelo expects Berlanga to fight him face to face right there, smothering him. So just catch him off guard.
Rosado's analysis frames the fight as a daunting challenge for Berlanga, but he believes that a high-pressure approach could disrupt Canelo's game plan. Eddie Hearn, one of the most influential promoters in boxing, reflected on the commitment he made to Edgar Berlanga when they first joined forces. Hearn, known for delivering on big promises, shared that securing a fight with Canelo Alvarez for Berlanga was always part of their plan. However, after parting ways with Canelo's camp, Hearn admitted there were moments of doubt regarding whether they could make that fight happen, especially with Canelo working under the PBC banner.
That we would deliver him the Canelo Alvarez fight, and when we stopped working with Canelo, I was like, like realistically, are we going to get the pick from PBC? Thankfully we did. Shout out as well Keith Connolly, who did a great job.
Hearn's relief and pride in delivering on this promise show his determination to secure marquee opportunities for his fighters, ensuring that Berlanga gets the chance to face one of the biggest names in the sport. This fight with Canelo represents a huge moment for both Berlanga and Hearn's promotional efforts. Eddie Hearn, always quick to defend his matchmaking decisions, addressed the criticism surrounding the selection of Edgar Berlanga as Canelo Alvarez's next opponent. With many fans and pundits suggesting that other fighters were more deserving of the fight, Hearn stood firm in his support for Berlanga, pointing out the key credentials that made him a viable contender. As the promoter responsible for securing this major fight, Hearn reminded everyone that Berlanga is not just any fighter. He's an undefeated mandatory challenger with the power to back up his ambitions.
There's a lot of backlash.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he's a mandatory challenger. He's undefeated. He's a good young fighter that punches hard. Who else is he going to fight?
Hearn's statement highlights the inevitability of this matchup, emphasizing that despite the backlash, Berlanga's record and position as a mandatory challenger make him a legitimate contender for Canelo's next big fight. In the end, it's clear that opinions are divided, but one thing's for sure: the Canelo versus Berlanga fight will be an explosive clash of experience versus youth. Will Canelo's ring IQ and technical skills reign supreme? Or will Berlanga shock the world with his raw power and hunger? Boxing fans, mark your calendars. This is one fight you don't want to miss. Who do you think will come out on top? Canelo's experience or Berlanga's power? Let us know your predictions in the comments below.